Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the SWL YouTube channel in the 2021 BMW M4 competition in Sao Paulo yellow in Sport Plus mode, where even in Sport Plus mode I have the option of pressing a button down here that turns the exhaust valves off, and all it seems to do is turn the interior audio pumping. I've never driven a car like this. Ooh, there are some burbles. I'm very disappointed at first impressions at this. That is the most hilarious thing. This is Sport Plus mode. Come on, BMW. The M4 Cabriolet in Yas Marina was the first time I ever noticeably experienced audio pumping exhaust sound into the interior of the car. And since then I've owned an F80 M3. I changed the exhaust system twice on that car to try and fine tune and get the best out of that engine and sound. And well, this is even worse. I mean, I've got to stop doing that because I am going very, very fast by the top of the rev range. But this is the thing with the M3, the M4s, all of the M cars, where BMW are really trying to hold on to their history, but obviously have to change with the times. I fully understand that the world that we live in is not 15 years ago, and I'm not going to moan all video, but there have been 1,000,001 reviews on the M3, M4 competition. And I wanted to do something a little bit different, and that is talk about the exhaust system and talk about how BMW have actually made the best sound they possibly can given their parameters. And actually what I and you are currently hearing now inside the car is totally different to what's happening out the back. When we come to talk about the exhaust design of the G80 M3 and M4, there have been a few adaptations to the F80 M3 and M4, which I do believe had a slight disadvantage because it was being compared to the E92 M3, which had a beautifully singing V8, whereas this is just another inline six. It's slightly better. The exhaust system is slightly more efficient. BMW have done everything they can to get the best sound out of it before the regulators have come in and just gone, have that filter, and now it sounds how it sounds. But the few things that BMW have done in a hope to create a characterful six-cylinder sound, we start with this bit here, where there are two pipes that run symmetrically down the middle of the car that have been increased in diameter by 5mm. That's because obviously with the power increase, you need that free-flowing pipe. What I find up front is where the manifolds are, they're designed asymmetrically, and BMW say that's where the majority of the character comes from the exhaust system. It is literally attached to the turbocharger. So I believe aftermarket exhaust systems, if you want to get the most sound out of this car, you're probably going to have to change the manifolds, which might be a little bit of a big job. But those asymmetric design manifolds coming onto those pipes that surround the gearbox in a hope and attempt to recreate a V engine sound is kind of contradictory to what BMW are trying to do in this section. When it comes into the back box, BMW say they want to create a characterful inline six sound, but why are they going to the extent of designing pipes to have the correct lengths to look like a V engine at the front? It's almost like they know what they have to do, but they're trying to please old BMW M customers. So the sound is never going to be an E92 M3, but I do think with an aftermarket exhaust, you're going to be able to accentuate what BMW tried to create before the regulators came in and said you need all of these filters to completely wipe out the sound of the car. So whilst I don't think this is in its best form, how it sounds, BMW have done what they can. I think when we start seeing customer cars delivered, the exhaust systems are going to change quite a lot. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with how this car makes me feel. Steering is great. I love turning on the steering. BMW steering's always been great. But then here, the power is so linear and the gearbox is so good now being an 8-speed torque converter. It's just so smooth and very, very good and clinical with almost zero braking traction, which everyone was complaining that, oh, you can't get the traction down on the old cars, and now they've gone and fixed it. And actually, it was more fun when you were dancing around the road, not knowing whether the back end was going to spit it out or like here, look, we're I just want to find a go-kart track and turn traction control off and not go above 40 miles an hour, but go sideways the entire time. I'd have more fun in this car doing that than I would driving how I'm driving now. As an interior, it's a beautiful place to sit. To run my hands through the steering wheel like this and go around roundabouts is so smooth. This virtual cockpit, the heads-up display, all of these things make the experience very, very good. I've got all of these customizable settings: engine, chassis, steering, brakes, M traction control. I can have it all the way off. I can have it in different variations. But yeah, it just feels like a computer that's doing all of the driving. The car is working harder than I am, which day to day is fine, but for an M car, maybe you'd want it to want to kill you more. But now in comfort mode, like, it's really stiff with the carbon seats. You can feel all of the tarmac, all of the imperfections. We've got a little man cover there. The whole car, super rigid. So actually, it's not even a very good daily. It's 100 grand. You can buy a 6-year-old Rolls Royce Wraith for 100 grand now. Oh God, what is going on? I feel like an idiot for saying all of this stuff, but I am literally just speaking how my mind is feeling at the moment. And not only am I lost at the moment, I'm a little bit sad. I was quite looking forward to this. But in comfort mode, oh my God, it's just moving around on all of these tarmac surfaces that are losing that top layer. Like, I was just coming around that roundabout. Feels like it's running wheels that are bigger than it should. Feels like the suspension's stiffer than it should be in comfort mode. Oh God, I might sign off here. Jesus. Even the gearbox. It sounds like a computer game. It sounds like one of those old computer games where it just hasn't got the sound of the car perfect. And it used to frustrate me so much when I would drive cars on the computer, on the Xbox, on the PlayStation, where Sound Engineered had tried to recreate the real sound of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and they got it wrong. It frustrated me so much. And here I am driving a real 100 grand performance car and it sounds like this.